SG Reads.
Hello fellow travelers, my name is SG, welcome to the channel. Today, since it's almost Halloween, I thought it'd be nice to do a quick Halloween special that I really like, that I have grown to really love ever since it came out originally, and that I do feel that it does get overlooked a little bit, but it's still a classic to most. That being, going back to the well for me at least, Ed, Edd n Eddy's Boo Haw-Haw, the Halloween special. And I hope you guys enjoy it. I know I did enjoy making this one as much as I did watching it. And let's get started, shall we? But before that, please leave a like, comment, subscribe down below. I really appreciate it. It helped me out. And it lets me know that you guys like this content. I do have another idea coming along the way, again, for kind of series like Ed, Edd n Eddy. But for now, let's focus on this. And let's get to the story, shall we? Now, the story starts off a little different, and at the same time a little bit the same for an Ed, Edd n Eddy series. That being, instead of doing a scam or trying to get money, Ed, and Eddy are trying to get candy from a place called Spookyville. Eddy claims that he has a map to this place Spookyville where they give out large candy bars and a great amount of them at the same time. He claims he got it from his brother, and they're going to make their way there to trick or treat since it's Halloween. And Ed, when we find him, he's been having a non-stop movie marathon for the past month or so since the Halloween season has began, and that begins to rot his brain as we go through the episode. From that point on, we see them dress up in Halloween costumes and set out to look for Spookyville. But because Ed has been watching these horror movies, it's now affecting his perception of reality. Him thinking the Canker sisters have sent a hex on them and have sent creatures after them to stop them from reaching Spookyville, and ends up attacking almost everyone in the cul-de-sac, thereby making enemies of almost everyone there. Now, that's pretty much the gist of the story. I do leave a lot to be said to the main story along the way, but I do suggest going to watch it. It's a very fun episode. I enjoy it. I love it myself, and I think you'll enjoy it too if you like Ed, Edd n Eddy content, or even just early Cartoon Network content. Alright, for now, let's move on, shall we? The characters themselves don't really change much in the terms of personality, but the one things that we can take away from them is that Eddy and Double D are set more on finding Spookyville, with Double D in more of a crisis mode for Ed. Him pretty much just going off and pretty much beating up everybody in the cul-de-sac, thinking they're creatures and or monsters of the night, with Eddy suddenly realizing that Spookyville does not exist. His brother just sent him through a whole circle. He pretty much ends up back at the cul-de-sac, and at that point it's already been midnight, telling Double D that he should have known his brother was always into practical jokes. So, at the end of the day, they get their comeuppance for something Ed did, and for something Eddy didn't do, which was trying to help his friends out in their moment of need. Double D, much more of just the one in the background, hanging on, and trying to get Ed the help he needs, but getting denied by Eddy over again. The one thing about this episode is that we do get a different in design, different exaggerated ways of looking at the characters. Because sometimes we see through Ed's eyes, we see that he's seeing them as creatures or monsters, like I said before, but they take it a step further by actually showing us what Ed is seeing. So that's where I say the design really kicks in this one, such as Kevin being the Headless Horseman. We see Johnny being kind of a spider creature, with Plank being a Frankenstein monster. We do see Ralph being a Cyclops. Sarah is like a Banshee. Jimmy an alien. We have Naz a Gorgon. Different stuff like that, and it does just add to this idea that this is all happening in his head, but gives this cool little perspective through Ed's eyes. Fun, interesting, and a different take that we've seen throughout the series. We have seen them go through into their own imaginations, but this is the first time we've seen them taken to that extreme of seeing through their imaginations. So that is definitely something that many people have noted when talking about this episode specifically. Even compared to the regular series, this is taking its own turn, taking its own take on the cul-de-sac, or even as the whole world as a whole. Because this isn't the first time we've seen them go at night, but this is the first time we see them actually experiencing something creepy, something darker around the area. Even through Ed's eyes, allowing darker or brighter shades of green to take over the whole scene, or shades of red, But at the same time, in the regular world with Ed, Eddy, and Double D, we do know that there are darker tones, allowing it to have this creepier vibe overall. Something we really don't see throughout the main series. I mean, we have seen that here and there, but this is where they really expand upon it. Mainly because in the regular series we mainly either focus on the cul-de-sac, or in the later seasons we focus on the school. And then in the movie, in the woods or in the desert areas. This is the first time we see the actual school and the forest compared to the later seasons. This has to be something that was happening outside of the main series and giving its own flair that would later come on as something bigger later on. So this did have its own distinct vibe and did have a tone that did make this feel like a real Halloween special compared to other Halloween specials along the way. Now when it comes to the series, a lot of the people working on the show admits that this was probably one of the funner episodes they had done, including Danny Antonucci, the creator of the show, said that this was definitely one of his top favorite episodes that he's done in a marathon special, The Best Day Edder. There are definitely a lot of different tones and shifts that the creators themselves wanted to take in this kind of episode, along with several in-joke references, such as in Ed's room you could definitely see a bunch of references to the creators themselves, such as Danny the Butcher, which is Danny Antonucci's name, mixed with an original pilot he made called Lupo the Butcher, along with Dr. Borzo's Lei, which is a reference to Zoe Borzo, production assistant, Korean vampires, a reference to Hyuk-E, a prop and character designer, Monster Wutstein, a reference to the storyboard artist James Wooton, and Mutating Raven, a reference to the storyboard artist Raven Molesi. There's a bunch of other references hidden in this joke, which we will talk about right now, but the production, along with creators, admits that this was probably one of the best Ed, Edd n Eddy episodes that was produced in later seasons, or as the series as a whole, that they can think of, and they would definitely rate it at least in the top 3 episodes. Now, when it comes to references, they really didn't reference cartoons, much more they referenced classic literature, along with their own little headcanons here and there, such as Ed drags Eddy and Double D into the forest. He yells quickly before the troll's mother shows up when Ralph is about to beat them up. Again, that's a reference to Beowulf. He then, Eddy's front yard, there's a sign that says, "Here lies Captain Ahab," on a tombstone, a Moby Dick reference. Ed, in a later scene, shows, "Lothar, no need, no stinking map." Again, it's a widely misquoted phrase from the 1948 film, The Treasure of Sierra Madre. And little things like here that we see throughout the series. In fact, the map that we see in this as being Eddy's main guide to Spookyville is then again later referenced in the Big Picture show as being the main map of the cul-de-sac. Again, either showing that they learned from their mistake or then use it along the way. The static that we constantly see throughout the episode is from A Nightmare on Elm Street that was slightly taken or just redesigned overall. There are several other references I could make, but those are the best ones I could recognize along with the help of others. So that is pretty interesting and fun to note for the series. Again, just showing how much attention to detail and at the same time how much they're willing to kind of bend the censors or just willing to go into their own route when thinking of creative ways to expand upon the Ed, Edd n Eddy universe. Now, the reason I wanted to bring this up as sort of the first real special we talk about of the month for Halloween is because this pretty much symbolizes Halloween in a way. Kids going out looking for candy of the best houses, binging on horror movies, and just all in all trying to have a good time and having some fun while at the same time making some enemies along the way. That in itself just reeks of Halloween, doesn't it? Just being scared, having laughs, and at the same time getting a little lost in the whole mess up of it all. So, if you wanted to say what series or what special best encapsulates the Halloween season, to me it will always be Ed, Edd n Eddy's Boo Ha-Ha. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks again for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate it. And See you guys next time. Have a great day. But before you leave, please do check out this other video I've just done today, based on an independent comic called Lucifer Licorice. If you do love the original Cartoon Network lineup, such as Adventure Time, Chowder, Flapjack, something like that, you definitely will enjoy this. Having similar styles in art and character traits that you can definitely recognize and kind of relate to, I do highly recommend checking out the book. If you want to see my full-on review, it'll be right here. And yeah, thanks again for watching. Please do check it out, and see you guys next time. See ya!